What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. Today, I've got a different kind of video for you guys. As you probably saw in the title, I'm going to be taking you along my entire 3D printing journey. I'm going to start at the very beginning, tell you about how I got into this. I'm going to take you all the way through from start to finish, ending up here where we are today, running an Etsy shop full time. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Let's get right into it. Alright, so now that I've been running my 3D print shop for about 2 years now, I feel like I finally have a little bit of knowledge that I can share with you guys. If nothing else, hopefully by the end you've learned a thing or two, and maybe it will inspire you to get started on your 3D printing journey, or start an Etsy shop, or whatever it may be. If nothing else, hopefully you take from this video that it is possible to grow a 3D printing business. It just takes a little bit of patience, time, and hard work. This video is going to be a little bit different. It's kind of like a vlog. I decided to film myself over here doing different tasks throughout the day, running my 3D print shop, kind of like a vlog, except I'm not actually talking about anything that I'm doing in this video. It's just kind of there so that it's not just me sitting in front of a camera talking to you guys as a talking head. I tried to give you guys something else to look at besides just me. So hopefully you enjoy it. Let's get to it. So when I got my first 3D printer, the idea was actually to make content. So my intention was to start a YouTube channel, Instagram, all the different social medias. I wanted to make content using a 3D printer. I had no idea what I was doing. I just wanted to do something. So the first printer that I ordered was an Anycubic Viper. Once I got it, I did an unboxing video and it was horrible. I didn't even post the video. I still edited it and tried to create a video out of it just for practice, but it was so bad. The lighting was bad, the angles were bad, everything was bad. I learned a lot from it, but I didn't end up creating a video using that material. So I've got my first Anycubic Viper, and at this point I thought that I was going to do engineering type 3D printing, but the most intricate design I was able to come up with is a carving tool holder. So I've got the carving tool holder right here. I briefly got into carving during COVID. I don't really do any carving anymore, but you get the point. I created a holder for my carving tools. I ended up making a YouTube video showing that process. I'm pretty sure I've taken it off my channel now because that was about 2 years ago, and I've come a long way since then, so I've unpublished that video. Even though it's unpublished, I'll make sure to link it in the description so you guys can go and check that out if you really want to. So I actually listed the carving tool holder on Etsy, and since then I've had a few sales. Not a ton, but I've sold 1 or 2 here or there. After the carving tool holder, my engineering ideas kind of came to a halt. After that, I decided to make a nameplate for my desk. I was a 7th grade math teacher at the time, and I thought having a cool nameplate for my desk would be pretty neat. So here is the original Miss Hicks nameplate. This is the nameplate that started my entire Etsy shop. I didn't know it at the time. I was just kind of messing around, but here we are 2 years later, and this is the majority of what I'm selling. Now, the design has changed quite a bit since then, but that was the original, and I think it's pretty cool. I love seeing it on my shelf. I love seeing the starting point, seeing how much the quality has changed, and just how much I've grown just in making that one single product. It's pretty neat. So I added the nameplate to my Etsy shop. I didn't really think anything of it at the time. I was kind of just playing around with the idea. I put it on there. Took maybe a month or 2 before I finally got my first sale, but then I actually got my first sale. At that point, I was terrified. I don't know if any of you guys have gone through this same process, but when you get your first sale and you're not really expecting it, it's like 2 months later, there's a little bit of fear involved in that because there's so many things start running through your head. It's been 2 months since I've actually printed one of these before, so first off, do I even remember how to make it? Second, is the quality going to be good? Is the person going to like it? Am I going to ship it on time? There are just so many things going through my head to be able to ship or print and ship my first order. I think for that first order, I ended up printing it 3 or 4 different times just to make sure that I was shipping out the best product that I could possibly send out. Looking back at it now, the quality was still just not there compared to where I'm at today, but I did my best. I put something on the internet, I sold it, and then I produced it and shipped it out. So that was the start of my business. I'm not super happy with what I sent that first customer, but hey, it is what it is, and it got us to where we are today. So I got my first sale in April of 2022. I'll bring up some data just to show you where I started and where my sales, or how my sales progressed for the rest of that first year. I was still teaching full time, so I couldn't really devote too much time to it. It was really a side gig at that point, but I was still happy with the amount of extra income that I was able to bring in at that time. So I was running a single Anycubic Viper at that time. I think I ran it for about a month, and then I quickly had to upgrade and get a second Viper so that I could keep up with the small amount of demand that I had started to bring in. So on the Viper, I was able to produce 2 prints a day. I could do 1 print all day long. It took about 12 or 15 hours depending on the size of the print and how intricate or how detailed it was. So I could print 1 nameplate all day long while I was at work, and then when I got home I would switch it out and I would run another print. So sometimes I could get 2, 3, or 4 prints depending on how detailed the designs were. I also really didn't have a system in place for how I was going to design and create the nameplates. Now I have them very exact. They all look the same. They're the same amount of filament for the most part. Back then it was just I'm creating this thing, I'm putting it on the printer, and it's just going to print for as long as it's going to print. Now, I was still really new to 3D printing. I had only had a 3D printer for about a month or 2 up until this point. And now I'm trying to create a business where I am 3D printing art or nameplates for people. So I was a little bit stressed, but it was still a lot of fun. Once I got my second Anycubic Viper, I tried to make another unboxing video, and this time it actually went okay. I think I still have this video public. I'll make sure that that one is linked in the description below too, just so you guys can see that if you really want to. Again, that was about 1.5 to 2 years ago, so not my best work, but it'll be there in case you guys want to watch it. I continued on with these 2 printers for the rest of the year. I did okay keeping up with demand until end of school, beginning of school, and Christmas. So those are my 3 busiest times of the year since I deal primarily with teachers. Things got pretty scary then because my printers, these are the older type printers, so they were really slow and kind of unreliable. I could print 2 to 4 nameplates a day, and so if I got more than 4 orders a day, things got a little scary, but I just moved my ship dates back to accommodate and hoped that everything went okay and nothing broke, because only having 2 printers, if something broke, things would not be okay because I didn't really have a backup plan at that point. That was a big learning moment for me because I actually did have one of them break in a very busy time, but luckily I could get the parts off of Amazon. They got here really quick. I learned a lot about how to fix a 3D printer during that, but that's a story for another day. So I kept printing all of 2022. Things were somewhat slow, but I was okay with that because I was actually pregnant with my son, Henry. I only made 2 YouTube videos that entire year. I think they were both in April or May, because once I got pregnant, I despised the smell of 3D printing filament. I kept my office door closed. I only came in here to print if I really, really had to. I didn't run Etsy ads. I didn't try to promote my business at all because I just couldn't stand the smell of the plastic. My plan for after having Henry, which was in January, my plan was to not go back to teaching and stay at home and work somehow. Luckily, that ended up being my Etsy shop, my 3D printing business, and now YouTube, which is amazing. But that was the plan. I was gonna find a way to work from home. One day when I was just scrolling on Instagram, an ad popped up for the Bamboo Lab printers. I decided to click on the ad, and boy am I happy I clicked on that ad. I decided to order 1 P1P, no AMS, nothing else, just a P1P. I decided I would order it. It was a bit pricier than any of the other 3D printers that I had been looking into, but after watching a few YouTube videos, it seemed like a good purchase to move my business forward and take the next step. It turns out that I was actually super lucky that I decided to take that next step and actually make this purchase, because what happened next? I was definitely not expecting. So timeline-wise, we're at March 2023. Up to this point, max orders that I had gotten in a month was 30. And running my 2 Anycubic Vipers, that was fine. I was able to keep up with that kind of demand. Around April or May of this year, 2023, my Etsy shop kind of blew up. So you can see here that in the beginning of this year, I had 7 orders in January, 12 orders in February, 18 orders in March, but then in April, I jumped to 153 orders. Luckily, I had ordered the Bamboo Lab P1P, which helped me a lot. It was so much faster. If I was still running my 2 Vipers, this would have sunk me. There is nothing I would have been able to do to get out 153 nameplates that took 15 hours to print each. So, very unexpectedly, my shop really took off. And you can see beyond that, it came down a little. It didn't get that high every single month. But since then, I've continued to get quite a few orders. So, after this started to happen here in April, I knew it was time for me to get another P1P. Unfortunately, when it was time for me to get another P1P, they were on back order. So instead of me just ordering 1, I decided to go ahead and order 2, because if I was going to have to keep up with the demand of over 150 orders, 2 of them still was not going to cut it. So I went ahead and ordered 2, and then the back order whenever that would actually ship, and basically my business had started, and it was amazing. I think it took about 2 weeks for the printers to actually get to me, and I was kind of going crazy. So I was running the 1 P1P. I could run 3, maybe 4 prints a day, depending on the timing, the size, and how I positioned them on the plate. So I had 3 to 4 on 1 P1P. And then I still had my Vipers 1, 2, or 3 a day if I really tried. The quality on the Vipers just really was not there though, so I tried not to use those unless I really, really had to. I think it took about 2 weeks for the bamboos to finally get to me. And once I got them, I built them, got them running, and didn't even run a test print on them. I literally just plugged them in, put the filament on, and got them running. So I think the main reason that my Etsy shop blew up at that time was because I actually started to try and run a business. I turned my Etsy ads on. I started watching videos on YouTube about how to have a better Etsy business, how to get more sales. I started doing those tricks, and it was actually working. So as you saw in the chart, I continued to get more orders than I was used to getting. So my sales volume stayed somewhat high. During August, which is back to school, my orders, again, were really high, and so I decided it was time for me to get a 4th P1P. At that time, I also decided to get an AMS and start introducing multicolor printing. That's where things really started to take off for me. I had my original single color, original font nameplate, whatever you want to call that one. But then I started designing multicolor nameplates, and so far at Christmas, that has been my best seller, which is amazing. It's really opened up a new avenue for me to get sales. Once I had all 4 of my Bamboo Lab P1Ps running, I decided I really didn't need my Anycubic printers anymore. They were kind of just paperweights in my office. They were just taking up too much space. So I listed them on Facebook Marketplace, way too low apparently, because I had like 100 people reach out to me wanting to buy them. I sold them right away, got them out of my house, and here we are. They used to sit on this table back here actually. You might be able to see them in one of the old Anycubic Viper videos. You might be able to see them in one of those videos, but they're gone now. After August, things kind of slowed down a bit, which I was happy about. I needed a tiny little break. We're still getting a decent amount of sales. I had 96 in September. In October, I only had 38, but that was nice because I had been grinding since April, so a small break was much needed. October was also when I decided to start back my YouTube channel, and that has been so much fun. Because like I said in the beginning of this video, YouTube was what I wanted to do in the beginning. I got 3D printers because I wanted to make 3D printing videos. And here we are making 3D printing videos. It's not exactly the style of videos that I thought I was going to be making, but you never really know what you're going to do until you start. And then you figure out what you like, what other people like, and then you just keep going. So I made my first YouTube video almost 2 years ago, I think February or March of 2022. Somehow I had a good idea. I made a 4-minute Cura video that over that year and a half of me not making any YouTube videos accumulated over 60,000 views, and it got me to over 900 subscribers. I appreciate every single one of you if you are one of those people that's watching today. I appreciate you for sticking with me for that year and a half where I wasn't making videos. I did try to make a video whenever I was pregnant. I filmed it, and then as soon as I sat down to edit it, I was just, oh my goodness. So I did not end up creating a video during that time, but that's okay. Here we are, and we're moving forward. So in October, when I decided to start back, I had over 900 subscribers already hopefully watching my videos. It took me 3 or 4 videos before I got monetized. That got me over the 1,000 subscribers and the 4,000 hours of watch time. And then here we are today with I think 4,200 subscribers, almost 5,000. You guys are incredible. But here we are today having so much fun making YouTube videos, running an Etsy shop. The Christmas rush has been incredible. We're on an amazing journey and we're not done yet. 2024 is going to be an incredible year. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. You're not going to want to miss it because next year is just going to be a big year, I promise. But after October, you can go back and watch my vlogs because I've been producing at least one video every week since sometime in October, because I know I had the Halloween AI video was at the end of October, so there's been videos at least one every week since then. So if you want to see where my journey has taken me since then, just go back. I have a playlist for all of the vlogs that I've filmed, so watch those and you can see how we got to where we are today. That's pretty much gonna wrap up this video. Hopefully you enjoyed my story. I just wanted to give you guys a little insight about how I started, the journey I've been on, and then where we are at today. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. If you liked the content, make sure you hit that like button. Check out my channel if you'd like to see other 3D printing vlogs, AI art videos, or Etsy content. I got lots of things coming your way. 2024 is about to be an incredible year. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.